Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome back to another episode of the UNC Hoops Talk podcast. I'm your host, Dan DeWitt, coming at you as I usually do. I try to do once a week during the season, and we are back. Not under the best circumstances. Bad week for the Tar Heels. They did not look good in two losses. Looked pretty poor against Ohio State at home in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. And then again, just offensively, a big struggle, which it always is against Virginia, but just even worse against this Virginia team with this North Carolina offense that we got going on here. So I'm glad that you are here listening, watching, however you're taking the podcast, even after a week like that. But maybe a little bit of a therapy session here as we discuss these two games and look forward or look ahead, maybe instead of look forward to the next two games in the season and hopefully some improvement from the Tar Heels as we get going. So let's jump in. First, we got the Ohio State game, and this is coming off of our first game since the Bahamas in the tournament out there. It was the number 6 team against number 7 team, I believe, at the time, and just not a lot went well for the Tar Heels. First 7 minutes into the game, Armando Bacot goes down, sprained ankle, looked really bad. He even said he thought it was broken. Roy Williams thought he was going to be out for a few to several weeks. And we just don't shoot the ball well. We shot 7 for 23 from the 3-point line. Let's see. Well, game-wise, we shot 27% from the field goals. I mean, think about how many times we usually get the ball inside, get good looks and good percentages. 27% from the field, 30% from 3, 62% from the free throw line. Got out-rebounded 48-32. Ended up being a 74-49 loss to Ohio State in the Dean Smith Center. Not great. Turnovers weren't bad. We forced 15. We only had 10. We couldn't get our offense going, and it was ugly. I think at halftime, let's see if I score. Yeah, it's halftime. It was 29-27. We were down 2. And Roy was like, the way we've played, the way we've shot, feel like we stole something just to be that close. And so they left a little bit of hope to where if we played that bad and we were that close, maybe we could come out, play better, and get the win. But Ohio State came out quickly and got a lead, and then kind of never let up. And it felt like even like halfway, like there was halfway through the second half, a lot of time left, but just like we just didn't have a chance. Our guys had kind of even given up, and we're starting to take some bad shots and whatever. And so, I'm not even going to get into individual stats because it's just ugly, and I probably won't for either of these games. And we're going to kind of lump these games together, hoping that these games, we don't ever see anything like them again, because our offense looked bad before, but this was atrocious. And I was really like hopeless last night. I was like, I don't see where this team gets any better. I don't see where we get improvement for the season going ahead. I've cooled a little bit since then. These are the top 2 defenses in college basketball this year to this point. Literally in KenPom, they're number 1 and number 2 defenses. So I guess that gives me a little bit of hope that we can not play this bad against teams that aren't this good on defense. But it was just, first time North Carolina has ever been held, well, I guess under Roy Williams, but for North Carolina since like the 40s that we've been held under 50 for 2 straight games. First time ever a Roy Williams team's been held under 50. He even said in his press conference after Virginia game, he thought his teams have never scored less than 70 in 2 straight games. And here we have a 49 and a 47-point game because Virginia ended up being a 56-47 win for the Cavaliers over our Tar Heels. And it was brutal. It started off, I think we scored fairly early in the first couple minutes, but then it was 2-0 for like 5 minutes or something like that. And it was like 9-5 with like 9 minutes left in the half. And little bit of a run at the end of the first half, ended up 24-18 in favor of Virginia at the first half. And that 2-0 lead might have been our only lead of the game. They came back and they got a lot of free throws. I didn't know about some of the calls. They're a very physical defensive team, speaking of Virginia, and seemed like they were pushing Garrison down low quite a bit, and Baycott as well, and weren't getting called. And then we would, bump them a little bit on a drive or inside and getting called for foul. But you can't really blame this on the refs. Again, we shot so poorly. For the game, we shot 37% from the field. 7%, yeah, that's right, 7% from the three-point line. We were 1 for 14 from the three-point line, and that's just not going to do it. 55% from the free throw line, just pretty pitiful. And Virginia wasn't even that much better. They were 33% for the game, actually shot worst overall from the field from us, 35% from three. But this is a pretty bad three-point shooting team coming in, and at one time they were like 6 for 11, almost 50% from three. In this game. So and then ended up free throws pretty even. We shot 22, they shot 25, but just an ugly game, which we kind of knew it would be against Virginia. And again, speaking of the Baycott injury that happened in the last game in Ohio State, and how long Roy thought he would be out, and everybody was kind of speculating. He comes back, he plays. He actually plays 25 minutes, played pretty well. He's 5 for 8 shooting. As far as a bad shooting performance, he had a good one, 5 for 8. But again, he only shot 8 points, whereas Cole Anthony shot 15 times, 6 times from the three-point line. Only shot 4 shots, or made 4 shots overall, and he had our only made three-pointer. Something's got to give there. And again, we just got to get our offense going. Obviously, we talked about it before the season, and as we've gone through this season, we knew there was going to be some lumps with how many new guys we had, and getting guys to play together that hadn't. But I mean, this is just worse than we could have imagined. So we got to get stuff fixed. We got to get it going. We've talked at length about Leakey's got to do better. B-Rob was hitting threes. He obviously didn't in this game. Ended with 2 points. Didn't give us really anything. The 2 transfers, Christian Keeling, Justin Pierce, have got to produce, and they just haven't been. And bright spots for this game, obviously Baycott playing and playing well, and looked like he was okay and should be okay going forward. Also, Anthony Harris and Jeremiah Francis saw their first minutes as Tar Heel players in this game. Anthony Harris actually had a couple of bright spots there, gave us 4 points. He was actually positive in the plus minus. He was positive 5, which ties him for the best on the team. Obviously, when you lose, most guys are in the negative if they played any significant minutes. But we got 5 minutes out of Anthony Harris, 3 minutes out of Jeremiah Francis. So hopefully they can come along. Obviously they haven't been practicing much. So as they practice more, hopefully we get more out of them. But 56-47 loss to the Cavaliers. And like I said, we're just going to chalk this up, hopefully kind of forget about this and move forward. These are kind of outlier games, but it does mean the Tar Heels have lost 3 out of the last 4 games, going back to the Michigan game in the Bahamas. Got a good win against Oregon. Hopefully that it might save us here, getting a good win there. But now the Tar Heels have a week off until we see Wofford in the Carmichael Arena. I don't remember what the scheduling issue is, but something's going on in the Smith Center, something that they couldn't play there. And so they're in Carmichael, which people have said for years that we should play at least 1 game in Carmichael every year. And it's finally happening. It should be a great atmosphere. If you got tickets, lucky you, because again, it should be a good atmosphere. Obviously, the Tar Heels not playing as well as they should. Maybe not the best opponent, but at this point, we'll take any win. We'll take, maybe seeing some improvement, getting guys confidence. For me, that's the biggest thing this team. Somebody was asking me, and maybe the only place I see this team making improvement is we get our shooters some confidence. Obviously, Keeling, has been on a big slump. Playtech said he's never been in a slump like this in his life. B-Rob missing all his threes last night on a streak. Even Cole has not been efficient. He's taking a lot of shots and thus gets some points, but has not been efficient, has not been a good shooter. So, Leaky Black has not produced the offense that we need from him. So we got to get our shooters and when the ball starts going in the basket, things look better. So Yeah, we first have finals week here, so that it's not like they have a lot of practice here, even though they have a week off. They're going to get a few days off for finals. But we do play Wofford on Sunday. That's December 15th. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern tip on the ACC network if you can't be in Carmichael. But yeah, hopefully we can get a win there, get a little bit of confidence going, because then the next Wednesday, December 18th, we are at Gonzaga. That's a 9 p.m. Eastern tip. That will be on ESPN2. Gonzaga looks good. They have, there's a chance there that, again, if we play well, but the way this team's playing, that's going to be a really tough game to play to get a win. Obviously, it would help us. I don't know where Gonzaga went this week in the polls. I know the Tar Heels dropped to 17. They were at 7, dropped 10 spots to 17. I don't know where Gonzaga was. I believe they're still top 10, but if we get a top 10 win there, obviously that would be good. And that means we're playing better as well. That's probably the most important thing, because then from there we stay out actually in Las Vegas to play UCLA in the CBS Sports Classic. We got Yale, and then it's right into the new year and ACC schedule. So our Tar Heels right now at 1-1 in the ACC after that loss to Virginia, heading into 2020. Hopefully we can get a big win here. Well, not even a big win, but get a win against Wofford with that crowd in Carmichael, and then head out to play Gonzaga at their place, which is a tough place to play, and then UCLA in the CBS Sports Classic. But that's kind of what's coming up for the Heels. Again, biggest thing is starting to get healthy, getting Harris and Francis back into a groove of playing basketball. It's been a couple of years for Francis. Harris coming off an ACL injury, guys making sure they have confidence to not be injured again, and just confidence in their legs and get the stamina up. And then, who knows about Manley, but get Baycott keep getting healthier, and like I said, getting our guys' confidence is about the only place I see where we get going here. But yeah, that's really all I got. One little plug quick. If you guys could, if you enjoy the show, go to patreon.com/UNC Hoops Talk. Support the podcast there. $1-2 a month. It would be awesome. And it'll go right back into helping us to get better at this podcasting thing, and also being able to do more of them, so we can get our hosting up and get more of them. And then also just want a quick plug. I didn't get to it after the Virginia game. I didn't feel like anybody probably wanted to watch anyway, but doing a live kind of analysis right after the games on Instagram. It's at @AllTarHeelDan. Would love a follow there, and you can jump right into the conversation as well. But that is, quick, before we leave, I did get some comments here. Butcher Gang on YouTube here says, once we start knocking down shots, we'll be okay. We always start off rocky. Roy will have us ready for March. Trust in Roy. I mean, I do, but it's just where this team can go. I don't know. We'll see. I hope you're right. You have more faith. You're more positive than me right now. But and then Charles Randall says Cole Anthony's leg hasn't healed all the way yet. Yeah, hopefully. I don't know if that is or not. But then Butcher Gang says number 17. We shouldn't be in the top 25. It's true. My rankings, I wouldn't have us ranked either. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for joining in live. We do that on YouTube. If you're not subscribed there, definitely go subscribe on YouTube. And that's really all I got. Didn't want to spend too much time on the week we had this week. So me or Gil will see you next week after the Gonzaga game. So the second half of next week. Until then, go Heels.